Hello, my name is Gabriel García and I'm going to talk about my professional practices in EPSOL, Energy, Power and Solutions. So for the project description, I'm going to talk about the modeling of power system using a tap. This will be used to obtain 4 different diagrams. The single line diagram, that is of the electrical systems, the short circuit, the electrical arc, and the load flow. This makes the network more reliable by analyzing the software results and coordinating the electrical protections. So then for the justification, it can be divided into different parts. For the company's perspective, is to provide an specialist service in power system by using the latest technology for the companies to operate safely, efficiently, and reliably. Then, for the end user perspective, it can be divided into two. The first one is to meet the requirements established by the grid code for the user of medium and high tension. Then, they must know if they are under this limit established by the government for the national electric grid to operate correctly. Then we have to prevent the penalties for them to prevent the penalties and the damages to the equipment. Then for the objective is to model the power system electronics by carrying out the elaboration of a single line diagram. This is by using a tab and AutoCAD. Then we have to run the main test, and this will be explained later in the presentation. Then finally we have to interpret the results for the software and give us feedback to the clients. Then for the final product is going to be a full report that will include all the electrical blueprints and the results we obtained in the software. So now for the goals, the first one is to obtain a final report that I have mentioned in the previous slide. Then we have different goals that goes from gather the data from the electrical installation in the client grid, and this is the more difficult and the more time taking, and we have to cover all the client installation and go to every single board, say loads, cables, etc. Then we have to capture all the electrical grid in the tab software. Then we have to run the test. Then we have to make the electrical blueprints with the results obtained needed to be imported to AutoCAD. As a tab doesn't give us the chance to print them directly from it. And finally, we have to give the feedback to the clients and the action they should take to improve their electrical grid. As for the regulations, I'm going to talk about the grid code, and it is the main reason why the different companies are investing more and more in electrical studies. It was first introduced on April the 9th of 2016, and then it makes the energy system more reliable. As it is understood to be the grid more efficient, having enough supply, and making the generation and delivery reliable and safe. Then, the studies are made to know if the circuits are implemented in a good manner, and they can manage the energy correctly. Then, for the national grid, codes gather different norms that were already established in the electrical market. And it's important to mention that the grid codes establish what is needed, but not how to make it. This is useful for EPSOL, as real companies can be more active in the electrical market. So my contribution to the projects are that I have been able to participate in the site visits in an active manner by seeing the boards and being able to manipulate them with the supervision of a more experienced engineer. Then, for the electrical grid implementation, the software, I was able to add in all the information onto the tab software. Then, for the electrical blueprints, me and my team were able to carry out more than 50 blueprints. And finally, as an extra, I was able to participate in different conferences and expos in Mexico City and Cuernavaca. So I'm going to talk about what I have learned through my professional practices. As the electrical grid concerns, we didn't have much knowledge in this area. We are mechatronic engineers and not really electrical engineers. Then, the electrical regulations, we know what is the grid code and what is going to come in the near future for the electrical policies in Mexico. Then, the professional environment was a really good learning, and we made a presentation in an office where engineers give us feedback and about our presentation and how we can improve. Then, in the power electronics department, we learned a lot of things about relays, TPs, and measuring instruments. When we arrived to EPSOL, we thought that we know a lot of things about power electronics, but it wasn't true, as we have learned a lot of things about these new transformers and measuring systems for the electrical code and how they transport and manage electricity. Then we have to learn about the business model. As EPSOL being a startup company, we were able to learn more about the company's decision on how to present a business proposal to big companies like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, etc. So as a conclusion, during my first month, it has been a wonderful experience. I have the opportunity to learn a lot of things that were out of my knowledge. Then teamwork was also a really good part of this experience. That I have met amazing people that they have taught me a lot, not just in academic and a professional way, but in my personal life. And finally, Epson is an incredible company, an incredible and a leading company in the power systems environment in Mexico. And they have a big commitment to offer the best service to the clients and how to compete against different monsters in the industry, in the electrical industry as ABB, Cell, etc. So this was all my presentation on professional practices for the first month. And thank you for your attention and see you next time.